See, me personally, I feel like all this is so important because if we don't do these simple parts right here, we'll never be able to do what is needed so that we can honestly change our life and get on our purpose. What's good, YouTube? Welcome to the Ballers Club. It's your boy Baller Firebird, the one and only Mr. Baller Fire, the one and only Mr. Do It All, the one and only Mr. Everything Under the Sun will get done because your boy is best beyond. Listen, man, I am so happy and so excited to finally be able to bring to y'all the second part of the Baller Fire series, which is the series about changing our life and finally getting on our purpose. I know a lot of y'all love the first video. I know a lot of y'all say that the first video was a reality check and that y'all was so happy that I dropped that video where we talked about how everything in our life up until this point is our fault. We took that acknowledgement and we're starting to move forward, which is why I'm finally going ahead and dropping the second video. I hope that this video serves you well. And if you have not had the chance to tune into the first video yet, I ask that you go tune into the first video. I'm putting it somewhere up here. I don't know how this whole thing works yet. But nonetheless, man, today we talk about setting the foundation for our life, moving on to the next step and changing our life and chasing our purpose. Tune in right now. Get your notepads ready as I'm finna get ready to drop this game, and I'll see you in the video. So one of the first things that we have to do in terms of our life and trying to be on our life's purpose and relating it to this skyscraper is clearing the ground. When we're trying to build a skyscraper, when builders are trying to build a skyscraper, they got to clear the ground first. They got to remove any debris, any trash, any weeds, anything that's in the ground. Hell, it could be anything that was there previously that does not help with laying a solid foundation for our skyscraper. So what does that look like for us? That means removing all of the bad habits. That means removing all of the negative and toxic relationships and friendships that we have in our life. That looks like removing all of the negative and toxic self-doubt and negative thoughts that we have about ourselves. Because none of these serve us in the path of trying to get to our purpose. So when I think about the first thing, let's talk about bad habits. Me personally, I know I'm a person that is trying to get over the habit of procrastinating. So I know that this is something that has to go and it cannot be in my life when I'm trying to get onto my life purpose. It could be anything as far as being lazy, always smoking, always drinking, always hanging out with bad friends, or just always going out. Let's talk about always going out. It's not to say that going out is a bad thing. It's not to say that you can't have fun, but we have to also understand that all distractions are created equal. If I'm going out every single night, or if I'm going out every single weekend, when can I wake up early so I can, focus on myself? When can I wake up early so I can lock in on my purpose? When can I go get in the gym? Or when can I actually, figure out what the plan is for my life if I'm always intoxicated, if I'm always, worrying about what's going on here, what's going on there? We got to let go of the bad habits in our life. The next thing that we also have to let go of, these toxic and negative relationships. These relationships could be anything. These could be friendships. These could be relationships with a partner. This can be family members. This can be anything, because we have to all understand that negative relationships, they really do affect us. When we love hard. Whenever somebody negatively affects us, we have to understand how that can sway with our emotions. If I'm so worried about what this person or this family member or this friend or boyfriend or girlfriend has going on over here, I can't stay on my purpose. And when I can't be on my purpose, I can never get the things fulfilled in my life because I'm so emotionally tied up and so emotionally drained from anything going on with any of my negative friends and family members in relationships. So these negative relationships, they can also be pulling us away from our purpose. They can be pulling us away from the things that we're actually chasing in life. And then lastly, let's talk about removing this negative self-doubt. We got to let go of negative self-doubt. We got to let go of, honestly, any negative thoughts that we have about ourselves that do not serve us in the course of trying to get on our path. What do I mean by this? If I'm somebody that really lacks confidence, if I'm somebody that really lacks what it is that I need to have so that I can be on my life purpose, how can I ever fulfill my life purpose if I'm always constantly stuck here? If I'm always constantly stuck here, I can never really lock in. I can never really say, you know what, I can go have that. I can go get that. This situation may look bad, but I know better days are coming. If I'm always having negative, pessimistic thoughts, then how can I ever actually get to the things that I know are in line for me? This negative thinking can come into play when we're seeing somebody that has something that we may want in life. Oh, somebody's my age and they're already a millionaire. Oh, somebody else is my age and they have the car that I want in life. Or somebody else is my age and they're serving millions of people. Whatever the case may be, All of these things come into effect because we have to understand probably the most important thing is we are all unique in our own being. We don't have to be like anyone else. We don't have to compare ourselves to anyone else because when God put us on this planet, he put us here to be unique. I know myself, I am my own unique piece to the world's puzzle. I don't have to be like this person. I don't have to be like that person because God put me here to be me. If he wanted me to be like that person, he would have made me that person. If he wanted me to be like that person, maybe I'll be that person's twin. Whatever the case may be. But when I was put on this earth, I was put here so that I can be able to achieve the things that are set out for me to achieve. So like I said, in the stance of clearing the ground, we got to let go of all these bad and negative things. Like I said, that's the habits, that's the relationships, and that's the thoughts that we have about ourselves. But once we let these things go, we'll never understand how free we'll feel, how empowered we will feel, because it frees up the space for us to actually be who we need to be and do what we need to do, because we don't have all these negative things pulling at us. We don't have all these negative things affecting our mindset. We don't have all these negative people affecting our lives. And so with that being said, we can stay on our life's purpose. So the next thing that we have to do in our lives is laying the cornerstone of our foundation for our skyscraper of a purpose. What does that mean? If you've ever heard the term cornerstone, a cornerstone in the sense of a building is the first things that are put down. These are the first things that are put down because it sets the alignment for the structure of the building. We know exactly how big this building is going to be. We know exactly how wide, how long it's going to be. And that's going to be the same thing in the sense of our life and our purpose. When we set the cornerstones, these are our values. These are our principles. These help set our values so that we can align our actions. If I know that I'm somebody that's built on integrity, I'm not going to put myself in positions to have to lie. I'm not going to put myself in positions to have to cheat and steal or whatever the case may be, because my cornerstones and my values are set. My values may be somebody of integrity. My values may be somebody of high character. My values may be somebody of a disciplined person. So I'm not going to put myself in any situation that sways me away from being a disciplined person. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to have that extra drink because that extra drink may take me just over my tilt and I can't continue to be that disciplined person. So when I say lay your cornerstones, I mean identify your values, identify your principles. What are you going to stand on? When all hell breaks loose, what are you going to stand on? When everything, when everybody's pulling at you, what are you going to stand on? I may have this friend over here. I may have this partner over here. I may have this ex-girlfriend over here, all trying to pull at me in certain different ways. I may have this old bad habit, all trying to pull at me from different ways. But now that I've set the cornerstones for my life and I know exactly what I'm willing and won't do, I know how far I'm willing to be stretched. I know how far I'm willing to go to be able to get something. I can't be swayed in any direction because the cornerstones are set for my life. So the next thing that we have to realize in the case of building our skyscraper of a purpose is we have to build in layers. Think about it. You never, ever, ever have seen a tall building or a skyscraper with just one floor. Why is that? The reason that is because every floor, the next floor up is supported by the one beneath it. And the reason why I speak about this is because this is our habits. These are our actions. These are our thoughts. These are our decisions that we make. All of these build upon another because they make room for the next decision to be made. If I don't make this decision, I will never be in line to make that decision. If I don't make this a habit, I will never be in line to make that a habit. So how can we relate this to our life? If I'm a person that wants to wake up at 5:30 and I start making that my habit, that habit is going to create sub-habits. Okay, now I'm going to start eating earlier. Now I'm going to start making sure that I work out earlier. Now I'm going to start completing my work for the day earlier. So now that one habit has created sub-habits, and these are new layers that are being added onto my life. These are new layers that all add onto what the building now stands for, what I now stand for. Every action has a reaction. Every action is a chain. So when I do this, that's going to create this. When I do that, that's going to create the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And these all add as layers to our life. These all add as layers to our purpose in the case of trying to get to our greater self. So think about what I said earlier. Every floor that's above one another, each floor is relying on the one beneath it to continue to stand firm. If I don't have a strong second floor, how can I ever have a strong third floor? If I never have a strong third floor, how can I ever have a strong fourth floor? And the reason why I say this is because my habits are stacked in ways where this habit creates that habit creates that habit. And all these habits are created, and now all of these habits will be what continues to help me stand firm and continue to be able to do the things that I do in the form of chasing my purpose. Honestly, overall, when we really look at it, each floor is stacked in a specific manner. Each floor is stacked at a specific height. Each floor is probably honestly at the same exact height as the floor beneath it. Honestly, what this shows me is we gotta have consistency. We gotta have consistency, stacking habit on top of habit, on top of habit, on top of habit. And then the last thing that it actually makes me think of is we gotta have patience. You've never seen a skyscraper built in a month. You've never seen a skyscraper built in a year. These things take time. Everything has to be in the right conditions. Everything has to be set perfectly beforehand before they can ever be followed up and set next. So the next and final thing that we have to do is really be weatherproofed and have firm reinforcements. Why do I say this? This is honestly the most important thing, but we can't have this if none of our previous 3 levels are done diligently and done correctly. Why do I say this? Because there's no point in having a big, tall skyscraper. There's no point of having these big goals and aspirations if they can all be torn down easily. It's no point of having the world's tallest skyscraper if somebody at the bottom can kick it and the whole thing fall down. I say this because in life, we're gonna be thrown that curveball. We're gonna have the storms come in our life. We're gonna have the strong winds. We're gonna have all these things that try to knock us off of our purpose. We're gonna have all the things that are gonna try to knock us down, even when we get to the top of our purpose. But we have to think about, like I said, how is a skyscraper built? A skyscraper is built specifically to be able to take on the strong winds. When the wind starts to blow super hard, that skyscraper sways with the wind. It doesn't break, it doesn't bend, but it sways with the wind. Okay, I'll go with you for right now, but eventually I'll be back to myself. And we have to be the same way as people. We have to be the same way when it comes to chasing our purpose. We have to be like, you know what, okay, this thing is trying to take me off my purpose. No, I'm back to where I'm supposed to be at. And the reason why I say that is because, like I said, it's no point of having all these big goals and aspirations if once I finally get them, I can't do anything with them. I can't keep them. I can't have them. And that's why all the other 3 layers are so important, because we have to make sure that we can stand firm in who we are and what our actual purpose is in life. I can get all the way to the top of my purpose and forget what it actually took to get me there and then lose it all. We have to know exactly what things we may encounter on the course to get into our purpose. We have to know exactly who we are. We have to know exactly what we're built with. Who am I? When these things have happened in my past, what was easily able to take me off of my path? When these things happened in my past, what was the things that I needed to help keep me on my path? These are my reinforcements. These are the things that's going to keep me standing firm when all of the bad things start to happen, when all of the negative things start to try to come about again. And that is why it's so important that we have weatherproof and strong reinforcement. That skyscraper being able to sway through the wind makes me think about how that skyscraper not only has to be resilient, but it has to be adaptable. Okay, if I know I'm gonna be this big, I know it can be something that can possibly, try to throw me off of my course. But nonetheless, I'll adapt to it and I'll come right back to where I need to be. I'm adaptable and I'm resilient. This is why we must honestly be flexible and have that mental fortitude, because once we achieve our life purpose, we must continue to stay on our life purpose, because my life purpose is never complete until I take my last breath on this earth. And we have to make sure that everything that we are able to achieve and able to acquire, they can live past our lifespan. And that's what it means to be able to set the foundation for our life. So when I think about all this, man, it really just makes me think about, man, we got to set the foundation. We got to get everything out of our life, and we got to build this skyscraper of a purpose for us so that we can achieve the things that we want to achieve in our life. And once we're finally at the top of our skyscraper, we can look down. We can, say, I made it. I made it to the top of the world. And then we go build another skyscraper. Hey man, this your boy Ballafile Bird, the one and only Mr. Ballafile, the one and only Mr. Do It All, the one and only Mr. Everything Under the Sun Will Get Done Because Your Boy is Best Beyond. And I want to thank you for coming to the Ballers Club today. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Comment on this video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what it is that you're thinking about. Let me know what it is that you may need help with. I'm always open to answer questions, any concerns, whatever the case may be. Share this video with a friend or a family member, and I will see you in the next video.